Hey, retreat leaders. My name is Amelia, and today we are strategizing your entire retreat plan, including location, costs, how many participants will attend, and many other things to get you started. But firstly, I just want to thank you for being here. It means that you're looking to run a retreat, and that is just fabulous news, because I can tell you that running retreats has to be one of the most heart-aligned work as a facilitator to share your magic with your clients. It really deepens your community like nothing else. And that's what I really learned, is that people continue buying back into your community and your multiple retreats. So running retreats also allows a lot of growth for you as the facilitator. You're going to overcome so many limitations of your own throughout this process, and it's really a transformational experience for everyone involved. The other thing that I can tell you is that if it's done right, it can be extremely profitable. And that's if you have followed a proven way. So the good news is that for you, I have done all of that work over the last 7 years with my incredible team, and we have proudly documented and systemized every step for you. So that full program is called the Retreat Creative Co, which I'll tell you more about later. But for today, I'm here to run you through your retreat strategy and the first and exact steps that I take and the questions that I ask when I'm planning a retreat of my own or for one of my students. So we have currently run and set up thousands, not yet, hundreds of retreats in over 15 countries as of July 2021. So a lot of my students leave this lesson or call with so much clarity on what they are actually bringing to life. So make sure that you have your notepad in hand or your Google Docs up ready, because we are making some serious traction today, guys. And this is the first step and day of you becoming a retreat facilitator. So congratulations. So today I want to clarify where your retreat will be, when you're going to be running the retreat, so what month and seasons, how many participants will be on your retreat. I want to discuss the cost averages and, most importantly, your annual profit target, so that you can actually break down how many spots you need to sell over the next 12 months in order to scale your success and achieve the abundance that you really deserve and are dreaming of. And guys, I really want you to set your intentions here, because that is the direction that you will go. Success is half intention and half action. So we're going to put those two together and really get the ball rolling for you. My first and just quick, actually, word of advice is momentum. So I know that it's a bit strange to imagine how many retreats you're going to be running over the next 12 months before you've perhaps even run your first. But in this scenario, if you don't plan, then you really do plan to fail, because successful retreats need preparation and organization. And if your energy is just on the one and only retreat or event, and someone can't make that date, then you really just lose them because you weren't organized and didn't have a plan of what seasons or clusters of retreat dates suited your lifestyle. So it's better that you organize yourself, and then all of your clients can slot in nicely to what your available schedule is over the 12 months. So luckily for those who are already in my Retreat Creative course, we do the planning for you, and you just have to follow the proven system. But for everyone else, our word is momentum. So run with it. And as an example of that, a cluster of sales will actually come in after you run your first retreat, when you post on your socials or inside your private forum, which is why it's very important to have a private forum and a VIP space. So it's momentum, guys. You got to get the ball rolling, and once it starts, it doesn't stop. You know, we don't finish a retreat and then just take a break. There are sales straight away to take after that retreat for your next dates, and that's when they come in fast. So we're going to have you prepared for all of that. So let's get started. first things first, where are we running this retreat? Gosh, there are so many gorgeous places in the world, and you know, venues that have been built or houses that you can rent nowadays to have such an incredible experience for your guests. So where is somewhere that you are deeply connected and intimate with? I want this place to be like your own sanctuary. Like you would go there if you needed a week off work and you just know it like the back of your hand. This place is healing. Perhaps it's somewhere close by to you or a short flight away. And also somewhere where your people would go. So make sure it's a lot easier to sell a retreat when it's an ideal destination. For example, Greece was just sold out like that for me. Everyone wants to go to Greece. So wherever you are in the world, just choose somewhere that is like almost an attraction. People would ideally love to holiday there, whether it's the hinterlands or the beachfront. Doesn't have to be the most popular place. And in fact, I wouldn't recommend, you know, the beating heart of it all, but the surrounding little coastal towns or somewhere that, you know, people think, oh, that would be gorgeous. And I do actually want to holiday there. So some other things to consider with the venue is transport. So just remember that you do have a group on you at all times. So if attractions are close by that you plan on going to, then, you know, you want that to be quite close to the venue. If it's something that's remote and, you know, you're staying in-house the whole time, it doesn't matter so much. But it's not a good idea to have people traveling for hours and hours on end in drives or whatever it might be to get them to and from the retreat. So let's start with somewhere local to begin. That's certainly what we're recommending post 2020 world. It's really important, but even prior to that, to be honest, it's really important to get professional and comfortable with a venue as a facilitator before you go branching out. It's also easier to sell locally nowadays due to some travel restrictions and people just wanting to stay closer to home. So I always think it's a great place to start, to have your bread and butter venue and destination close by home so that you can just, you know, easily access it and facilitate that retreat. If your eyes are, you know, looking towards the future, or, you know, you're living in Europe and the countries are open and you are looking to do something international, just make sure you scout the venue first. So like you need to gain numbers of drivers, you need to do feasibility analysis on the venue and also create photo content so that you have a hype and a buzz during your pre-sales. Generally, you can't go wrong if you're in a destination or a country that has a weaker economy than your own, like, for example, Bali, Portugal, Spain, Greece, these types of countries. But yeah, very important to just know if you're doing an international retreat, to know the venue and the country inside out personally before you take a whole group of little ducks following you. So where? I can't wait to hear where your retreat is going to be. Jot it all down on the template that I'll leave below. Next question and step is, who do you have 10 or so people who, if you invited, they would just love the opportunity to come along and retreat with you? Or have you recognized that you need some help in marketing and filling out all of those spots? So we're actually going to deep dive into defining your target market and who they are inside our course later on. But for today, I just want you to ask yourself, who am I inspiring? Who is the woman, man, or human being looking to join this experience? Because usually we are not our ideal client, but we can find them if we know what we're looking for. And on that note, I just want to say that I have met some of my soul friends and sisters through running retreats. It feels strange to even call them clients because they are truly lifelong friends and have been a part of my life for a long time now. So it's really cool that they came through Facebook because I'm not one that typically likes social media and technology. So that's something, you know, awesome about this is you don't need to be. If you know how to market and find them and advertise directly, they will actually find you your perfect client. So just take a moment to think, who am I inspiring? Who is my perfect client? What are they going through? What do they want in a retreat? Where would they like to retreat? Really put yourself in their shoes when you're imagining who it is that you're bringing along. So next up is what type of retreat are you facilitating? Now, this will obviously depend on you as a practitioner. Perhaps you're already a yoga teacher or Pilates or a naturopath. Maybe you're doing shamanism. Whoever it is that you are, you'll already have that own talent. But your theme can go outside of your own expertise. So you might like to run a detox retreat, or a hiking or adventure. There might be sightseeing, sound healing, surfing, silent retreats, couples retreats. The list really goes on, guys. So start collaborating a list of what you want your retreat to be about, what it's going to offer. We go deeper into this in our workshop design lesson inside the program, and it breaks down, who you're going to need to collaborate with and what you'll personally be offering to just bring the whole masterpiece and vision to life. And we really help you with that as well. So next step is duration. Is this a one-night stay, or is it a long weekend event, or are you keeping your guests for 1 or 2 or more weeks for a full immersion? Or is it even a half-day workshop or event? So just put yourself in your client's shoes and think about, as a client, how long would they like to spend away with you ideally, or how much content do you have to get across to them? Obviously, like yoga teacher trainings are, 4-week minimums if they're the full immersions, or maybe just you're doing a pre or postnatal retreat. So it's mothers and they obviously have families. So perhaps a 1 or a 2-night event is more than enough. So think about the duration and how long you want to spend also away with them. When is the retreat going to be? So this has to be 6 months from now. Sometimes I get on these strategy calls and they're like, I'm going to run a retreat like next month. And I just say, scrap that, push it back 6 months. There's so much planning behind running a successful and sold out retreat. So it can't be something that just pops up and you expect to fill all of your spots. So let's think about, what season do you imagine running your retreat? And can it be the shoulder season so that you're not in the height and heat of summer and you're also not freezing in winter? So the shoulder seasons are kind of the ones that it's not the dead zone, but it's certainly not the peak season. It's right there in the middle. And that is usually where you get fairer pricing and you have more wiggle room for negotiating, which we also give you all of our templates of in this course. But I just want you to picture, whether you're going to be with your students, like frolicking out in the sunshine, having sunrise swims, or if you're more looking to be like snuggled around a campfire, drinking hot cacaos, doing ecstatic dances, sharing stories. What month really suits your offering the best? And also, we'll come to frequency later, but yeah, think about the cluster that you would like to run your retreats in, and I'll tell you more about mine later in this course today. So next question is why? Why do you want to have this impact on your students? What do you want to impart on them? What wisdom are you bringing to the table? Why are you offering this retreat? So the more specific you can get with those questions, the easier your clients will buy. There's a lot more in marketing and designing your invite email to come, but for now, I just want you to ask yourself why. And when I ask myself, for me, I really love to see people transform. It's really a lot like the journey of the butterfly, the metamorphosis to me that I just love seeing take place on retreats, where you get to plant just that little seed of wisdom, and then, with some watering and obviously nourishing of their own, that begins to really bloom. Some happens instantly, others are over time, but that really is my why. I love to give people the tools to change their lives and then watch them do it. I once read a quote from Lao Tzu that really deeply inspired my style of facilitating. And that is that when the best leaders' work is done, the people will say, we did it ourselves. So retreats are really bridging the gap between the two worlds of understanding coming together. It's your clients and what you have to offer them. And your job is to just hold and nurture and nourish that space, inspiring change through all of your tools and practices that you want to share, and then just letting the people do their own work. It's incredible to witness and to see, and you'll really feel that after running your first retreat and seeing your students leave and hearing their reviews, and that's like such a tickle pink moment. So how is my next question? And feel free to pause this at any time, guys. I know that I'm moving through this fast. I just don't want to sit here for hours because I can. But yeah, pause me whenever you need and go back. So how? What contractors are going to help you bring this entire vision to life? Or are you trying to save money on the first retreat and just running this solo? It's a really good idea to collaborate with someone else who might have their own students and talents and following that, combines with yours really nicely, and just to share the journey if you're more of like a team player. Or if you run your own retreats, or you already have your own business, or you are your own venue, then you're just looking at what contractors do you need to bring on board, or can you run this whole event on your own? Speaking of our clients, how many do you want to bring along, and how many are you comfortable with facilitating? Do you imagine it being like a large party, or more of a small and intimate, like coaching style event? I would recommend never to go under 8, purely just looking at this to be viable and profitable for you. My magic number personally is 16, and I've had groups of up to 26 and as low or as intimate as 12. And 16 really is my magic number. A lot of facilitators, depending on what country they're in, post 2020 are sticking with 12 because it seems to be like a regularly capped number if there was limitations on. But that's another great thing about retreats, guys, is, if you were working in a studio and it got closed down temporarily, you can always take this to a retreat venue, to an Airbnb, and continue running your business and continue earning an income, which is very important for us as human beings, and also being able to continue bringing your community together, which is, one of the main reasons people are purchasing right now. So costs. Usually you can expect a weekend retreat, and I'm talking USD because I'm just talking you at one price throughout the entire course. Usually we're in all these different currencies, and I'm more than happy to have that conversation with you personally, but just for the sake of generalizing, we're talking USD. So typically a weekend retreat will cost between $2,000 and $4,500 USD as a total for a weekend. And that varies obviously heavily depending on which country and what currency you're actually spending, and the level of your inclusions, like whether they're getting massages daily, or if there's any extras, or if food is included, many things which we're going to review in deeper detail in your budget and feasibility analysis later on in the course, so that you get the formula right, so that we can, cost up your retreat and you can see what the hard cost or the cost per head is going to look like. But for now, you can just begin costing up accommodation that's going to suit your style and budget of the retreat, whether you're going luxe or more eco. And there's also an entire segment on that too, because it's you want to get this perfect regarding your venue and the costs. But go ahead, start looking at accommodation in the zone that you imagine your retreat being, and check the dates. Make sure you're looking at the right season so that you're looking at the right prices. And see how many people you can actually fit in that venue or house. And then you can also start getting quotes from your contractors to see how much the cost of the retreat is going to be in total. So with pricing your retreat, Usually we triple the cost of the price, and that's your retail. So you can also tier pricing here if you have different rooms available. You might have like a shared room or a private room price, and that's quite popular post 2020. Usually it was kind of one price suits most with retreats, but if you want to tier the prices, then that's also an option for you. But for an example with pricing, I just ran an Australian weekend retreat. The retail was 1,300 USD, so 1,300, and I had 10 guests on that retreat. My total cost was 5,000 USD, and that's because that was accommodation, and I also had super luxe things like massage, all food, all healings included, and I still profited 8,000 USD for a 3-night retreat, and that was in March and then again in June of 2021. So as you can see, weekend retreats can be extremely profitable, and we just want to make sure that that the value is perceived through your itinerary, and that it's all written and presented correctly so that people really feel like that price is spot on, and you obviously get the prosperity of that on your end for doing what you do, which is transforming and changing lives and spoiling people and making them happier, healthier. So typically on a longer stay or an international retreat, which, you know, we're looking at 5 to 10 days or overseas, something like this, it will be 2 to 5 times more in your profit and about a quarter more in your costs. So an example of that from us is we ran a Greece retreat. We had 24 participants for 10 days, and we profited 26,000 US for that. And that is unbelievable. And we have all of these templates on all of the retreats that we've personally run and their costs that are all in here for you. So if you ever want to run a retreat in Greece, I'm more than happy to help you plan that. But that's just an example, guys, of weekend pricing versus international or longer stay pricing and what you can expect to make between. So while I'm there, guys, talking about profits, I also want to share with you that I'm so happy to share those figures with you personally on a call. And not enough people ask, to be honest, to clarify that. And you honestly should. But for me, this is my personal formula. It's been tried and tested, and this is the exact system we used to turn over 250,000 in 2019 in retreat sales. And that was running 4 international and 2 local retreats. And we also had a very profitable and healthy 2020, despite everything that was going on. So again, I'm more than happy to jump on a call personally with you and share this, because I want you to know that we are the real deal. We actually, have been in your shoes and really turned our system up and tested it to its max capacity in 2019, because we were also traveling and working online and running our retreats across 3 different countries. And we got married in Greece all in that 1 year. The benefits were absolutely endless. All of our travel expenses were tax deductions because we were scouting venues, flying from different locations all around the world and running these retreats. So I like to just bring that up because that's our edge as your coaches, that we have been on the ground. This system was built from the ground up, and we intimately know your feelings throughout the entire process. One of our retreats recently recognized that and just pointed out how much she appreciated, Julie, I'm talking about how empathetic we are and how much we were able to just help her through some mega limiting beliefs of her own around sales. And she is now one of our best performing retreat sale clients. So anything is possible here. And I just want you to know that we have walked in your shoes and just know exactly where you're at throughout the whole entire process. So frequency is our next topic I want to run over. So I think 2 to 6 retreats annually is really the sweet spot. But there's no reason you can't ramp that up to 10 annually. Once international is reopened or, opened and flowing in your country, I think 4 international retreats annually, as they are a bigger project. And they usually do require more time spent in sales because you're obviously, helping people with flights and if that's included and all of the other things. So frequency, 2 to 6 retreats annually, I think is the sweet spot. But again, if it's international, I think that you'll have your hands more than full. Sales targets. So once I can profit, 8,000 US for running 6 3-night retreats through the year, then you can see that you can bring in an extra 50,000 USD to your bottom line. And that's 6 3-night retreats, guys. That's 6 weekends away, can add an extra 50K to your bottom line. So this now allows you to calculate how many sales you need to make, because obviously if you are running 6 retreats with 10 people in each, like what I did, that would be 60 sales for the year. So that you know whether you can achieve that target or not within your own community, or if you need help, bringing more leads in to achieve that sales target. Talking about your client base, if you already have a database or a client base, then obviously you're well on the way to running your first retreat, or maybe second or third, or however many you've done. But we do have first some more important things to tick off in the next module before that itinerary and magic comes to life, so that the sales can begin. But if you don't have a database, or you're not a regular venue or regular teacher, I just want you to know that that is also completely fine, because at some point anyway, you will actually exhaust that client base and be looking for new leads. And that certainly happened to me after my 6th retreat, and having sold my women's gym, Venus Health and Fitness, which I'll tell you about another day or on another story. After I had run 6 of my own retreats, I'd exhausted that database, and all the ladies that wanted to come to a retreat from my gym had already come, and I needed new leads. And that's when the whole online platform of this coaching began, and this program. So through Facebook advertising and our lead generating funnel, that's how I funded 5 years of full-time travel, running our own international sold out retreats. And I'm breaking all of that down for you later on too. And I just want you to know that you can also not only do it yourself in this training, Retreat Creative Co, but you can also hire my ad manager of my Facebook ads to come on board your project, just so that anything is possible and achievable. So that's a wrap on today. I hope that you feel super inspired and ready to get planning your very first retreat. Now, if you're already in this course, I'm going to be waiting to hear your strategy formula. So send that through directly to my email once you've filled out today's template. And then I'll be sending you a video back very much like this one, but I'll be sharing the screens that you can also see your retreat plan. And then I'm going to be just breaking down and giving you my honest feedback, because I want to ensure that your retreat is not only unforgettable, but that your targets are also achievable. I'm going to also add in some really valuable thoughts on how to give your retreat more of an edge. So if I feel like a theme that you could throw in there just to really, help you kind of build that crescendo moment in your retreat that leaves you with 5-star reviews and your retreats just coming back for more and more, and also bringing their friends. So you can send that directly through to me. You already have my email. If you are not already enrolled at the Retreat Creative Co and you want to be, then you can learn more and join us. I'll leave a link below, or you can jump directly on a call with me and run me through your strategy so that together we can decide if starting with us is how you're going to bring this retreat to life, which is my passion and what I do full-time now. So thank you all for being here. And also just thank you guys for doing what you do. I wish you all the best on your journey. And I'm so excited to see our industry flourish into the new age. Speak soon, my retreat leaders. Bye.